Liar, liar, pants on fire. I can tell this is gonna be a good book by the front. I know you guys might not be able to read it because I can't read it from here. But I know it says liar, liar, pants on fire. So let's get started. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Written and illustrated by Deanne DeGroat. DeGroat is how I think you say his last name. Gilbert was having a bad day. His class had been reading stories about famous people, and now Mrs. Bird wanted them to make a play to show what they had learned. Gilbert didn't want to be in a play. He was sure he would get nervous and make a mistake. Even worse, Mrs. Bird stuck him in a group with know-it-all Philip and bossy Margaret.
Keep going. What's wrong?
This is going to be a funny book. Let's do a play about George Washington and the cherry tree. Philip suggested O.K. Okay, said Margaret. I'll be George Washington. I should be the president, Philip said, because I'm the best student in class. I said it first, Margaret insisted. Gilbert just wanted to be the cherry tree, so he wouldn't have any lines. Then Mrs. Bird settled it by writing the parts on slips of paper and having them each pick which one to his surprise. Gilbert picked George Washington, Margaret picked George's father, and Philip was the cherry tree. I don't know which one is Philip. Mrs. Bird opened the big box of costumes. You can practice your plays now and share them with the class tomorrow, she said. She gave Louis, that's an actual name, a tall black hat for his role as Abraham. Motorcycle helmet that looked just like part of a spacesuit. Mrs. Bird handed Gilbert three-cornered hat. Gilbert put it on. He felt better. Maybe he would be a good George Washington after all. Why has he not lied yet? We haven't heard the word liar, liar, pants on fire. The literal book name is Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. During practice, Gilbert pretended to chop trees for firewood. Then he chopped up Philip's leg. Philip said, "Ow!" and dropped to the floor. Margaret came up to Gilbert and said, "Oh no! My favorite little cherry tree has been chopped down. Tell me who has done this horrible thing." Gilbert held his paper axe and said, "Me?" Question mark. That's not the way it was in the book, Philip said. You're supposed to say, "I cannot tell a lie. I cut down the cherry tree. I am sorry," Margaret added. "Then I say, because you told the truth, I will not punish you," Philip sighed. "I still think I should be George Washington." For the rest of the day, Gilbert practiced his lines at lunch. At lunch, Patty asked him what kind of sandwich he had, and Gilbert replied, "I cannot tell a lie. It is a peanut butter and jelly." That's probably a lie. During arithmetic, Mrs. Bird asked him to add 6 and 6. Gilbert said, "I cannot tell a lie. The answer is 12. That I can tell that's not a lie. Dang. These pants are really short. Gilbert wanted to practice at home too. With the hat. When no one was looking, he slipped it into his book bag. Gilbert wore the hat to the supper table and announced, "I cannot tell a lie. I am starving." His sister Lola said, "Me too." "Try the soup," Mother said, passing the bowl. "It's a new recipe." Gilbert took a spoonful and said, "I cannot tell a lie. I don't like it." Lola put her spoon down and said, "Yucky soup." Then Gilbert said, "I cannot tell a lie. Lola is a big copycat." Lola started to cry, and Mother said, "That's enough, Gilbert." But it's the truth, Gilbert said. Mother sighed and said, "Sometimes it's better to say nothing than to hurt people's feelings." Gilbert groaned. It was hard to be George Washington. Oh, that was the AC. Before getting ready for bed, Gilbert carefully tucked the hat into his backpack so he could take it back to school in the morning. He didn't want Mrs. Bird to notice it was gone. He took a bath and brushed his teeth, repeating his lines over and over so he wouldn't forget them. Guys, you can tell he literally stole the hat. But at least he's giving it back. That's the best part. He's gonna give it back tomorrow. When Gilbert walked to school with Patty the next morning, he said, I've been practicing my part, but I'm still nervous about making a mistake. I just know that Bully Louis is going to laugh at me. I promise not to laugh if you make a mistake, Patty said. Gilbert said, I cannot tell a lie, Patty. You are a good friend. Wait, guys. I'm going to go back to that page. Tell me if you can spot the hat. Alright, if you couldn't spot the hat, it was somewhere on this page. But if you didn't see it, that was personally weird. When it was time to get ready for the play, Gilbert opened his backpack and reached inside. He felt his spelling book and his notebook, but he didn't feel his three-cornered hat. It was gone! Just then, Margaret asked, Where's your hat, Gilbert? It's not in the box. Gilbert said quickly, I didn't take it. Margaret said, I bet Philip took it. He wanted to be George Washington. Philip, Gilbert said, if it wasn't in his backpack, someone must have taken it. It must have been Philip. Yeah. Tell me if you remember what the book name is. If you don't know, if you don't remember, I'll show it on the at the end. Louis heard him and asked, What's on fire? Frank said, There's a fire. Patty ran to Mrs. Bird, shouting, The school's on fire! Mrs. Bird said, I didn't hear a fire alarm. But that's what Frank said, Patty replied. It must be true. I heard it from Louis Frank said, I heard it from Gilbert, said Louis. He said something was on fire. Gilbert said, all I said was liar, liar, pants on fire. And Philip shouted, I did not take George Washington's hat. Mrs. Bird opened the shopping bag. Here's the hat, Gilbert. Your mother just brought it, and you know you weren't supposed to take it home. Oops, Gilbert said, turning red. I was going to bring it back. Margaret pointed her finger. You lied about taking the hat, Gilbert. Philip almost got in trouble. Gilbert turned to Philip and handed him the hat. I'm sorry, he said. You were right. I'm not a very good George Washington. You should have the card. But Philip handed it back, saying, It's okay. It's okay, Gilbert. You said you were sorry, just like Washington's, and my beard itches. Just like Washington. My beard itches, Louis complained. Are we going to do our plays or not? As each group did their play, Gilbert grew more and more nervous. When Patty the astronaut tripped over her space boots, Louis and some of the other kids laughed. Gilbert didn't laugh. He knew he might mess up too. But when it was Gilbert's turn, he said his lines without a single mistake. And that's the truth. The end. So guys, I promised I would show the book title at the end. A few minutes back. And if you guys didn't remember, it was Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. But like literally. Yeah, I can't even read that. It says Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button now.
Please.
Or you're going to have bad luck for 7 years. You also need to hit that subscribe button, Mom. Yeah, my mom's right over there. I know it looks like I was just pointing at the wall. But, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this book. This was funny to me. I hope you guys laughed at this book. Because if you didn't, that is messed up, bro. And again, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.